So a guest writer on IGN from Push Square has been writing about PlayStation's lack of first-party games this year. Those are their words. However, they've said, because PlayStation kind of warned us, it's all okay. That's pretty much what their conclusion has come to. And so what I want to do is, or what I've been doing is I've been piecing this article to pretty much show that it is, in my opinion, representative of the large sickness that is actually in the gaming industry. They've justified multiple things. In my past videos, you would have seen them. Number one, they've justified that the lack of first-party games is fine, as long as you can do a good job in money-hatting third-party games. Like they said here, PlayStation has done a particularly good job of working with partners to keep its portfolio packed this year. Basically an anti-consumer practice. They also skipped the fact that a lot of these third-party exclusives have had poor sales, seeing that they've been solely locked into the PlayStation ecosystem. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being number one. Another game that's been, poor on its sales, in my opinion, is Stellar Blade, because it's only locked to PlayStation. So PlayStation is the only benefactor. Other people who may have been looking forward to a game that was already going to come to PlayStation anyways, have now been blocked from the game in one way or the other. And the studio is, in my opinion, probably going to feel some of the financial stresses that Square Enix has felt as well, keeping its games as exclusive on PlayStation. But at the end of the day, it's very interesting. So the author continues, though, and they said in the final phase of this article, of course, not everything PlayStation has touched this year has turned to gold. My dude, nothing PlayStation has touched this year has actually materialized to anything useful for a lot of its audiences, and even the audiences it's trying to capture. This is not even a matter of me, hammering down on PlayStation. These are just the facts. Helldivers 2 sold so well, it's not even the highest, it's not even in the ranking in highest game played on PlayStation, it's on PC. Yet, on the same PC platform that PlayStation has gone to, they've pretty much isolated, in a sense, a lot of the audiences across the world that could be playing their games. Then, the developers over at the studio that's developed Helldivers 2 have screwed the pooch and made changes to the game that have not necessarily resonated with the fans, so the player base pretty much mostly walked away from the entire game. So how can they actually achieve their goals of monetization and all the others? It's not even there. And then they wrote this: it's complete misreading of the market with first-person shooter Concord, a competent, albeit uninspiring affair. That's not competent. If you have to take your game away from the market, it's highly incompetent. Even the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, apologized for Redfall. And then you guys come out here to say that Concord is still competent. That to me, if you misread the market, if you make a game that is irrelevant and all, that is highly incompetent of your teams, your leadership. It's just what it is. Look at the amount of tongue bathing going on here to justify not only all of these vices that I've pointed out to you guys, like money hatting and all of this stuff, but even a place where they lost, according to conservative estimates, over $200 million. And if anybody wants to provide anything more accurate, over $400 million overall. And they're saying it's going to go down in history after getting axed after 2 weeks. How can you write competent in one line and then write axed after 2 weeks in the second line? And then they go on and say, yet for all the talk of its live service initiative stumbling, it launched the fastest selling games in PS Studio histories with Helldivers 2. So Helldivers 2 was competent, yes, because you can make a hit with a live service game. But at the end of the day, and then they call it an online co-op smash that, despite benefiting from a simultaneous PC launch, has outpaced juggernauts like Marvel Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok. So what you're saying is it benefited from not being exclusive. It's a first-party PlayStation game. Nobody was claiming that it needed to come. But again, you saw that a first-party PlayStation game benefited from being a multi-platform launch, yet you championed that them locking some other games from being a multi-platform launch was a good thing. And they did a good job in doing that. This is cognitive dissonance at its finest, my dude. You see, if you have to hold, a lot of these folk that tout this PlayStation stuff to their own standards, their own arguments and their positions will fall apart. It will flail all over the place. This is what they've been doing for PlayStation for the last few years. They will talk with one side of their mouths. When you point out, hey man, you're being hypocritical, they'll talk with the other side. And then they'll tell you it's not the same thing because PlayStation announced it to you. that you weren't going to be getting any games this year. Yeah, they're bringing you a $700 piece of plastic to play what? And then they're coming here to tout things like this. And then they've also said this. Look, check this out. It's been a quietly colossal year for PS5 then. And you get the sense the best is yet to come. The company's largely kept its blockbuster close to its chest, but 2025 should see the release of Ghost of Yotei, which is already being dragged. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Marvel's Wolverine, which leaked and is more than likely going to get a lot of scrutiny, waiting in the wings. These are the major existing franchise titles the Japanese giant was referring to in that aforementioned investor call. My dude, we saw everything in the Insomniac leaks. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is most of their content is going to be overshadowed anyways, like it already has been overshadowed by games like Call of Duty. Epic Games is Fortnite. They're going to be big budget games, and people are going to wait to buy them on sale or wait for them to come to PC so they can get the best edition to play. Some of them will sell on the PlayStation platform, no doubt about that. But you best believe that this colossal year you're talking about, it belongs to Xbox from a content delivery perspective. And this is just a biased article. I mean, it's okay to be biased, but let's not claim that any of these folk are games journalists. They're just games writers in a media that is already pocketed by PlayStation. We can't get any information from these folk. We can't get any, sense of actually critically looking at things after all of the standards that Xbox had been held to for many years. Now, everything is all okay because PlayStation announced it. Now, multi-platform launches benefit PlayStation, while at the same time, games that are held back from other platforms that do poorly in sales also benefit PlayStation. You're admitting and also at the same time dancing around the reality that PlayStation is basically trying to destroy the industry for its own gain and benefit, trying to push out competition everywhere. I almost want to go with my tinfoil hat and say maybe they're locking these games down so that they don't perform as good as their own games. But that would be way out there. I mean, it'd literally be way out there. But at this point, it would not surprise me if that's actually a reality that PlayStation sees a really cool game. They're like, oh, look at this. Why don't we money hat the game? It will sell us consoles. And then it will also lock the game here. They can't sell much. And then it will also give us more sales. Like, Final Fantasy 16. They haven't even reached a third of this. They're basically, 1/5 the sales of God of War Ragnarok. Maybe. It might be a conspiracy within the ranks of PlayStation at the end of the day. Who knows? This is madness. If this writer can come up with the conclusion that, Concord was a competent effort that was axed after 2 weeks, I can then come up with the conspiracy as well that maybe PlayStation is locking these games down so that they would destroy the competition in terms of other publishers, so that their games don't get seen and tasted by other people, and then they realize that PlayStation is basically a one-trick pony. Ooh, I don't like using the word pony, but it just happened to fall in line with that. Thanks for watching the video anyways. I mean, we've all seen what we want to see here. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Talk to me in the comment section. My daughter is hollering for mom, and I got to go deal with that and figure out where mom is and what she wants. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.